Hey there, Sagittarius rising signs of the zodiac. It's your cosmic girl delivering your horoscope for the month of December 2025. Trust you're doing well. Thanks for joining me here. So, it's a pretty sedate month, nothing too severe happening our last calendar month of 2025. And we're going to be talking about your planetary ruler, which is Jupiter, opening up this video. And then we're going to get into the chronological astrological transits for the month of December. Okay, Sagittarius rising signs, let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk about your planetary ruler, Jupiter, Sagittarius rising signs. This needs a lot more attention than just, Jupiter is in Cancer for the month of December, because your chart ruler, Jupiter, now is in its annual retrograde phase until March 10, 2026. So it covers more than just December, what's going on for the Sagittarius rising signs. So when your chart ruler Jupiter is in its retrograde phase, Jupiter is doubling down. And what that means is you're doubling down on security. And how do you get security? Through others' resources, death, transformation, and inheritance. So you're focused, super, super focused from now, December, until March 10, in capitalizing and anchoring commitments with others that can transform and elevate the self. What I put to you as a Sagittarius rising sign when Jupiter's in its retrograde phase until March 10, 2026 is going the extra distance to establish security for yourself. Security that emotionally feels good, like you're being satiated, like you're being cocooned and nurtured through others' resources, death, transformation, and inheritance. So think, I'm taking ownership, I'm taking leadership, I am focusing on making my internal spaces just right. And that is going to have a knock on effect because of your external circumstances. So you're weighing the pros and cons, but you are certainly vehement on getting what your needs are met when Jupiter is in a retrograde phase from the month of December all the way up until the 30th of June 2026. So big stuff for the Sagittarius rising signs with their chart ruler Jupiter in security minded Cancer, the 8th house of death, transformation, inheritance, and benefiting from other people's resources that advance us, level us up, that change us in profound ways. Powerful stuff. So that is like your footnote for the month of December, bleeding into January, February, March, April, May, and June. You're on a mission to anchor something safe and secure that helps advance and transform the self in positive, nurturing, compassionate ways. Lovely. On the 5th, we have our first lunation of December, and it is a full moon in Gemini at 13 degrees. And this is in your relationships house. So there's a relationship or a connection that's really important to you, Sagittarius rising signs, that's going to take you for a bit of a spin, a bit of a surprise with a full moon in your 7th house. So, what is the surprise about and what is the reveal about, which is what a full moon is? Well, it could be something very, very deep and private coming from someone near and dear to you that they have been struggling with or dealing with in isolation. And it's like we need to talk kind of full moon on the 5th of December. So, open hearts are needed with a full moon in Gemini on the 5th for you, Sagittarius rising signs. On the 6th, we have a grand water trine. We've been having these in succession since November, the end of October, actually, I think. Okay, so on the 6th, it's important, this grand water trine, because your chart ruler, Jupiter retrograde, is connected to Mercury in Scorpio and Saturn in Pisces. And these grand water trines, they've been quite deep, but very easy to go there and be involved with lots of feelings and lots of emotions. So on the 6th, we have a grand water trine from your 12th house, 8th house, and 4th houses. These houses in your natal chart are not public houses, they're private houses. So when you have a grand water trine swimming around on the 6th, we're all up in our feels and our emotions. We're not expressing them, we're just internalizing information and how our body's responding in kind to lots of stimulation. So I think that full moon on the 5th of December in Gemini sort of sets off you, because your chart ruler Jupiter retrograde is connected to this grand water trine from Mercury and Saturn, sets you off in deep thinking mode. So really thinking and psychologically processing what you experienced on the 5th of December with that full moon in Gemini. A very personal day. Okay, so we know that Jupiter's doing his thing retrograde in Cancer, but there's a bit of activity going on in your natal first house being Sagittarius as well. We've got Mars in Sagittarius on the 8th, squaring off with Saturn in Pisces. This is an ouchy day, a malefic square. Both planets being malefic are all about no's, dead ends, stops, and like a massive traffic jam. So Mars in your first house of self is coming up against something regarding your home, family, or domestic life that feels immovable, like it's going to break if something doesn't change kind of day on the 8th. So think, oh, I've got to go there and have a really difficult conversation, and I really have to put the anvil down of my own individual power to get something moving regarding your home, family, and domestic life. So not a particularly easy day, heads up there on the 8th. And keep in your back pocket, Sagittarius rising signs listening out there, everyone on terra firma here on our beautiful blue planet is experiencing a Mars square Saturn day. So archetypally, what's in the air is tension, conflict, nowhere, fast, butting heads, differences of opinions that are extremely strong. So the 8th of December is quite the day. On the 11th, we have Neptune going direct in Pisces and Mercury ingressing into Sagittarius. Okay, so let's talk about Neptune going direct in Pisces, your 4th house of home, family, and domestic life at 29 degrees. Beautiful. Paths are being paved. The future's looking clear, and distortion is removed when it comes to your domestic life, with Neptune now direct at 29 degrees. So think, well, things are improving within my home life and my family life. Things are getting a little bit more real now that Neptune's direct in your 4th house at 29 degrees. So really quite lovely. And with Mercury ingressing back into Sagittarius on the same day in your natal first house until the 1st of January 2026, Mercury is bringing back a focus on finances, travel, and communication. And that means you're going to be very, very busy from the 11th of December moving forward. You have Mars in the first house, you have the Sun in the first house, and you have Mercury in the first house, and you also have Venus in the first house. That is like a massive traffic jam of energies that is going to be infiltrating you. So lots of exacerbation, lots of movement, lots of communication, lots of relationship connections are hyper-focused for the Sagittarius rising signs with a stellium in their natal first house from the 11th of December moving forward into January. You're going to be very, very busy. On the 15th, we have Mars leave your natal first house. You still have that busy stellium going on. So the only thing that happens here now that Mars is out of the natal first house of self is a bit of a reprieve from a lot of exacerbation and energy. So now Mars brings the energy, will, drive, and passion to your second house of finance from the 15th of December to the 23rd of January 2026. Mars is in his exaltation sign being Capricorn. So Mars likes being in Saturn's sign of rulership, Capricorn. Saturn is in your natal fourth house of Pisces, where Neptune has just recently stationed direct. So we have a sextile from the ruler Saturn of the second house of Capricorn, where this transit of Mars is playing out. So in your house of finance, lots of finances and movement going on connected to home, family, and your domestic sphere. And with Mars so strong in Capricorn, think overextension, too much focus on finance and how it's having a knock-on effect with your home and domestic life. So it's a big transit, but a powerful one because Mars is exalted. So Mars will make you want to go that extra distance, think lavishing people with opulence and money, or maybe ingesting a lot of money and investing a lot of money within home and your family and domestic life kind of transit from the 15th of December to the 23rd of January. On the 20th, we have a new moon in your first house, Sagittarius, at 28 degrees. I like this. I like this a lot. New moon in Sagittarius. Uplifting, optimistic, exciting, adventure seeking. Zodiac sign Sagittarius, your rising sign. So, with a new moon, you have a new environment, a new direction regarding focusing your body, your health on the 20th. This is like I've got to get cracking now kind of new moon. So you may find yourself wanting to ingest in new knowledge, seek out new information that helps your body, your health, or your sense of I need to start something for myself kind of new moon on the 20th of December. Really quite lovely. Okay, on the 21st, solstice day. Solstice is where the sun is still and it's a turning point. Something's happening here for the next 4 weeks with the sun in Capricorn in your natal second house with Mars in your house of finance. So with the sun in Capricorn, the sun is interested in being practical, sensible when it comes to finances. So for 4 weeks, you've got your practical hat on. You're being very aware of what's coming in and out of your daily checking account. You've got Mars also co-present in Capricorn, where Mars is exalted, maybe blazing through your purse strings. But with the sun in Capricorn, the sun elevates you to knowing when to draw lines in the sand kind of transit. So the sun is the ruler of Leo, which is your natal ninth house. And that is foreigners, foreign places, travel, higher education, religion, and your philosophy on life. So the ruler of the ninth in the second for 4 weeks. This could be about uh, investing or lots of monetary exchanges regarding foreigners, foreign places, travel, education, philosophy, and religion could be a focus. So think investing or spending money on those topics and subjects with the sun in Capricorn for 4 weeks and with Mars exalted there as well. Mars can have you blazing through your purse strings, so watch what's coming in and out of your daily checking account. And with the Sun in Capricorn, it really is focusing in on advancement and maturity. So it's a double-edged sword kind of transit with Mars exalted here and now the Sun for 4 weeks. So yeah, big stuff when it comes to your finances and your personal values with the Sun in Capricorn for 4 weeks. But the 21st of December, I'd take a day to be really quiet with the Sun and the solstice point. So the stellium party in your first house is really starting to settle down because it's all going into your natal second house of Capricorn now. On the 24th, Venus joins in with Mars and the Sun until the 17th of January 2026. Okay. Now, Venus seeks out value. So this would be where you're really hyper aware of what's coming in and out of your daily checking account, expenditure, and being the absolute general of your finances kind of transit with Venus in Capricorn from the 24th to the 17th of January. Thanks for tuning in to your horoscope for December. Sagittarius rising signs. I trust you have a wonderful month. Your chart ruler Jupiter is retrograde in Cancer, so that primarily is your focus in establishing security. And with all this focus going on within your second house of finance, it's doubly so in the month of December moving into 2026. If you'd like to work one-on-one with your Cosmic Girl, I can be contacted at the email being cosmicgirl101@protonmail.com. Till next time, Sagittarius rising signs, you stay cosmic.